the time that he will spend in custody is appropriate.
Chaos erupts in the courtroom as the shocking saga of Floyd Mayweather takes an even darker turn, shaking the foundations of celebrity and justice alike. In a mind-blowing twist that no one saw coming, Mayweather finds himself scrambling to escape. A life sentence, igniting a media frenzy and a legal maelstrom that has the entire world on the edge of its seat. With every moment captured in electrifying detail, this is a story of secrets, betrayal, and a desperate bid for freedom that challenges the limits of the American judicial system. Hold on to your seats as we dive deep into the chaos unfolding behind closed doors. The corridors of power and influence have long been shrouded in whispers and clandestine meetings, but never before have we seen such a convergence of scandal and suspense. An explosive investigation by the FBI has peeled back layers of secrecy surrounding the enigmatic lifestyle of Floyd Mayweather, revealing a labyrinth of encrypted data buried deep within his smartphone. The operation, executed with surgical precision, uncovered not only financial discrepancies that span years, but also a trove of clandestine communications that paint a picture of a man who once ruled an empire built on both athletic prowess and a shadowy network of elite contacts. Cybersecurity specialists, brought in to decipher the coded messages and multimedia files, were left astounded by the complexity of the encryption algorithms employed, hinting at the involvement of specialized professionals whose skills in obfuscation rival those found in state-sponsored operations. Every piece of data, from voice memos to covert video snippets, told a story of hidden parties and secret alliances that stretched far beyond the glitz and glamour of the sports world. Behind the opulence and undeniable charm that defined his public persona, whispers now speak of illicit gatherings known only by the cryptic moniker Freak Off, where the creme de la creme of entertainment and sports would convene away from prying eyes. It was in these exclusive enclaves that Mayweather, alongside influential figures in music and business, engaged in conversations that straddled the lines between casual networking and the forging of monumental deals that were never meant for the public realm. The clandestine meetings took place in luxurious suites and dimly lit halls, where subtle nods and discreet handshakes replaced the usual
They call this the $1 million garage.
I know we're on television, Floyd, but I think it's necessary for me to say, damn.
Well, we are on ESPN.
Fair of high-profile events. Amidst the laughter, whispered confidences, and fleeting smiles, a sense of purpose was unmistakable. These encounters were not merely social rituals, but calculated moves in a grand chess game, one where each participant risked everything for a shot at untold fortunes. As the investigation deepened, court documents and insider accounts began to unfold, revealing the untold story of an empire collapsing under the weight of its own ambition. Mayweather's lavish lifestyle, once the envy of millions, now appeared as a facade built on shaky foundations. Allegations of tax evasion, along with fraudulent claims related to a sprawling real estate portfolio, emerged as the heart of a financial implosion that left many scratching their heads in disbelief. The narrative of a self-made champion was now interrupted by layers of legal troubles and the grim reality of economic decline. Investigators noted that while social media posts and televised interviews painted a picture of unrivaled success, the written records told a different tale. Man who once flaunted ownership of dozens of luxury properties now faced the stinging consequences of a meticulous IRS investigation that had spent years building a case. Every document, every confiscated file, and every recorded conversation contributed to a growing picture of deliberate misrepresentation, where the once unshakable image of wealth was revealed to be a carefully curated illusion. Embedded within this narrative was a curious and complex connection to none other than Diddy, whose name surfaced repeatedly in the decrypted files. Their alliance, initially perceived as a merger of high-profile ambitions, took on a more nuanced tone as more evidence surfaced. What began as a simple business venture evolved into an entanglement of mutual opportunism and calculated risk. Sources familiar with the inner workings of their collaboration described it as both innovative and perilous. A daring experiment aimed at leveraging celebrity status to create an unregulated revenue stream that defied traditional business models. Diddy and Mayweather were seen discussing strategies that blurred the lines between music, sport, and enterprise, with each conversation hinting at possibilities that stretched the limits of conventional monetization. It was a partnership built not...
Did you you went through. Look, being persistent, right? I think the only thing that separates people is passion, right? And having the ability to focus on something, to work on it, will allow you to work hard enough to be good enough at it. That's the Kobe Bryant run. Right. You know what I'm saying? He outworked those people. He a lot of people in the league perform according to their paycheck. So they're like, I ain't getting that money, let them do it.
Kobe was there every day.
Yeah. Working like that. And that's what
practice.
separates him and makes him special to us in a different way, even after he's gone, right? So just thinking of that, that's one thing when you can actually commit to yourself and what you want for your life and you work that hard at it. Even Floyd, when you make yourself, we got issues over anger, he's still the best fighter out there. Until somebody beat him, that's who he is.
Do you think he should step back in the ring?
I think he got to right now because the money gone.
Only on profit, but on the intoxicating allure of rebellion against established norms. In moments of candid interviews, Mayweather himself admitted, "I thought I was untouchable," a comment that resonated deeply with fans and critics alike, exposing the raw vulnerability of a man who had long basked in the glory of his former glory. Amid the legal battles and explosive revelations, the personal dimension of this saga began to unfold, casting a human light on the fallen icon. Audio recordings recovered from his private devices captured candid confessions that divulged an inner turmoil previously hidden behind a veneer of bravado and success. In these raw and emotional moments, Mayweather was heard lamenting the loss of control over his destiny, acknowledging mistakes made in pursuit of an ever-elusive dream. The words reverberated through the public consciousness, inviting a wave of empathy from those who had once idolized his indomitable spirit. "The thrill of the fight blinded me," he confessed in one recording, a stark admission that underscored the perilous nature of unchecked ambition. The personal cost of maintaining a larger-than-life image was now laid bare for all to see, transforming the narrative from one of mere criminality to a profound tragedy of human fallibility. Behind the scenes, legal experts and cultural commentators began to draw comparisons with other emblematic figures whose fortunes had similarly crumbled under the weight of public scrutiny and private indiscretions. The case of Floyd Mayweather became a focal point for discussions about accountability, the price of fame, and the disconnect between public image and private reality. Analysts in both the legal and financial communities warned that the repercussions of this scandal could extend far beyond the confines of a single courtroom. The financial world, already rocked by similar revelations among other high-profile celebrities, braced for potential shifts in regulations and the way wealth was documented and scrutinized. The headlines that once celebrated the unassailable success of a boxing legend were now marred by the stark realities of mismanagement, deception, and a legal fight that promised to shake the foundations of celebrity finance for years to come. Every layer of this narrative seemed to peel back yet another secret, hinting at deeper, more sinister elements that had been carefully...
I remember going to the Mike Tyson and the Mayweather, where it was an event.
Mayweather Pacquiao, Mayweather Canelo.
Mayweather De La Hoya.
Yes, that was a big event too, but I will tell you, nothing was really bigger than Mayweather Pacquiao. We had waited so long.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it was 5 years too late.
Too late.
But we didn't know until after the fight that it was 5 years too late. You know what I'm saying? So leading up to the event, oh my God, it didn't get any bigger than that.
But you know the thing is, everybody that Mayweather fought, he
obscured from public view. Digital forensic experts working on the case posited that the encrypted archives recovered from Mayweather's devices were merely the tip of the iceberg. Among the countless files and coded messages lay a series of seemingly unrelated but ultimately interconnected clues that suggested the involvement of additional individuals and networks. Trail of voice notes, video snippets, and seemingly innocuous text messages hinted at a broader conspiracy, a silent network of participants operating in the shadows, whose roles in the unfolding drama were as yet undefined. The complexity of the digital footprint was such that even the most seasoned investigators found themselves grappling with a maze of sophisticated data encryption and obfuscation techniques. In a rare moment of candor, one of the cyber analysts commented, "This level of technical prowess suggests that we are looking at a well-organized operation, one that has likely involved experts far beyond what was initially imagined." In the midst of these revelations, society itself was forced to confront the multifaceted nature of fame and the often exorbitant price it demands. The narrative that had long upheld the pursuit of greatness as synonymous with unchecked ambition, was now being challenged by the stark realities of legal and financial accountability. As millions of fans watched the unraveling of a once revered icon, the discussions that ensued touched on broader themes of personal responsibility, redemption, and the perils of living a life at the absolute center of media attention. Public debate now centered on whether the sacrifices made in the relentless pursuit of success were worth the eventual descent into chaos. This sentiment resonated powerfully. In a world where the lines between celebrity and criminality had become perilously blurred, the transformations witnessed in Mayweather's life served as a cautionary tale, a warning that even the most dazzling stars could eventually fall from grace when the burden of truth became too heavy to bear. Throughout the intricate tapestry of events, unexpected twists emerged that further deepened the mystery. Confidential sources within the legal system disclosed that Mayweather's decision to attempt an escape was not made in isolation, but rather as a desperate measure driven by the overwhelming legal pressures of his situation. Courtroom drama reached fever pitch as security alarms, frantic shouts from inside the
Floyd Mayweather is panicking after getting exposed and being caught in the most ridiculous lie ever. Floyd Mayweather is about a decade late, but he decided to participate in the Bow Wow Challenge, the ultimate Bow Wow Challenge. Now, if you are uncultured and don't get that amazing pop culture reference, then I'm not going to explain it, figure it out. The biggest flexer in the culture, Floyd Mayweather, would take to Instagram to announce that he just bought multifamily units in Manhattan for $400 million, all right? He would say he got 62 properties exact, took a photo op, the multifamily units is in the back, and he would say this is money out of his own pocket, and he had no investors.
I love bringing the people into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 60.
chamber, and the rapid pace of judicial proceedings combined to create an atmosphere reminiscent of a high-stakes thriller. In a rare unscripted moment during a closed-door session, Mayweather was heard remarking, "This is not the end of my story. It is merely an intermission before the comeback of a lifetime." These words, charged with defiance and raw emotion, ignited discussions across social media platforms, where even his most fervent supporters began to wonder if this was simply another twist in the saga of a man who had always managed to rewrite the rules. The spectacle in the courtroom became a metaphor for the larger battle being waged between old systems and a new age of digital deception, where every recorded sentence, every whispered confession, and every desperate bid for escape held the potential to reshape our understanding of justice. The unfolding drama has not only transformed the legal landscape, but also had profound implications for the realm of digital privacy and cybersecurity. The methods employed by those who concealed their illicit activities from prying eyes have set new benchmarks for technical intricacy, prompting legislative bodies and law enforcement agencies around the globe to reconsider their approaches to tracking and prosecuting cyber-related crimes. The sophisticated encryption techniques that safeguarded the clandestine interactions among high-profile figures have now become a subject of intense study, with experts deliberating over whether new technologies are needed to maintain public safety in an increasingly digital world. As policymakers grapple with these emerging challenges, the case of Floyd Mayweather serves as both a beacon of warning and a call to action. For those who once marveled at the seemingly invincible sheen of celebrity success, the reality of compromised data, manipulated narratives, and the hidden cost of fame has become all too apparent. In the days that followed the explosive court appearance, a palpable shift swept through both legal circles and the general public. Rumors of additional encrypted files and even more damning evidence began to surface, sparking a flurry of speculation about what other secrets might be buried in the annals of Mayweather's shadowy past. Tech-savvy individuals and seasoned investigators alike pored over every detail, trying to piece together a coherent timeline that could explain the manifold layers of
Yo, you know, it's one thing I thought about when preparing for this interview. It's this idea of, like, idols becoming rivals, right? Like, you came in the game, Floyd brought you in the game. And again, that was like the superhero story. It was like, yo, like, Floyd was the biggest boxer in the world. He came and got Tank, and it's like, yo, that's what we needed when they talking to Baltimore. And like, as time go on, again, I have no idea, you correct me at any time, but we see like just little back and forth between y'all two. And again, I have no idea, bro. So you can always stop me or correct me. We could whatever. But I'm looking at like it's crazy how people can put you in opportunities, right? But and I don't want to misspeak, but it just seems like it's because I've experienced it. People can, and maybe not for Floyd. So let me just preface that. It's like people can put you in opportunities because they can, but it's all to help them out. And then when you're not useful for them no more, they want to.
Exception. Every new piece of evidence was dissected with surgical precision, and every public statement was analyzed for hints of deeper truths lurking beneath carefully constructed narratives. It was as if each discovery led to an even more complicated web of intrigue, a puzzle that defied simple solutions and demanded a level of scrutiny that bordered on obsession. The echo of these revelations rippled through the broader entertainment community, causing many to question the integrity of the glamorous facades that had long been taken for granted. Discussions that once revolved around high-gloss events and red carpet moments were now replaced by sober debates about financial responsibility, the responsibilities of public figures, and the potential consequences for anyone who dared to live on the edge of legality. It became increasingly clear that the situation was far more than a personal downfall. It was an event that held a mirror up to an entire culture of excess, ambition, and the perilous charm of living life in the fast lane. In quiet moments among friends and family, as well as in the echo chambers of newsrooms and legal forums, the dramatic transformation of a beloved figure raised unsettling questions. How much of what we see is real, and how much is carefully orchestrated theater? And if the truth is indeed stranger than fiction, what does that mean for the future of celebrity and the institutions that serve to both elevate and scrutinize them? The detailed accounts emerging from the investigation offer glimpses of clandestine behavior that once existed solely in whispers and insinuations. Every statement and every piece of evidence contributes to a narrative that is as layered as it is complex. In late-night recordings and secret video diaries, Mayweather's voice carries an undeniable tone of regret and defiance. He was heard openly acknowledging the mistakes that had paved the way for his eventual downfall. "I thought I was untouchable," he confided in one instance, a statement that has now become emblematic of a lifetime of ambition that ultimately led him into overdrive. Yet even as the facts of his misdeeds became public, there remained a lingering enigma around his true motivations, a question that has set the stage for countless debates among his critics and sympathizers alike. Interestingly, amidst the tumult of legal battles and digital revelations, personal reflections have begun to.
That's 5. That's 6. That's 700,000. You know, that's 700,000. Let me go right to the bag. That's 300,000. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's like a
Emerge that add yet another dimension to this multifaceted story. Individuals who have known Mayweather for decades recall a time when his charisma and tenacity were nothing short of inspirational. Friends and former associates describe him as a man who constantly wrestled with the dual nature of fame, a gift that propels one to unimaginable heights yet exacts a devastating toll when faced with the forces of accountability. In candid conversations, one insider stated, "He always knew the price of success, but sometimes ambition blinds you to the consequences of crossing that line." Comments like these, shared in hushed tones in the corridors behind lavish parties and private meetings, now serve as poignant reminders that behind every sensational headline lies a human story replete with triumphs and tragedies. As the narrative of Mayweather's trial continues to evolve, so too does the reaction of a society that finds itself constantly reevaluating the ethics of celebrity culture and the intricate web of digital privacy. It has become a subject of intense discussion not just in legal circles, but also in academic fields, where scholars explore the implications of wealth, power, and the erosion of trust in institutions that once stood as beacons of integrity. The case now serves as a lens through which the public can re-examine the nature of fame, a status that is as seductive as it is dangerous, capable of transforming lives in ways that defy logic. In heated exchanges among commentators, a recurring theme is evident: that the glimmer of success often conceals shadows of peril, and that the modern era demands a new kind of accountability, one that bridges the gap between the digital and the human. In the midst of this legal maelstrom, the courtroom itself became a stage for a drama that transcends the boundaries of conventional justice. The atmosphere was charged with tension, as if every moment held the potential to alter the course of history. Accounts from witnesses and legal experts paint a picture of a scene that was both chaotic and heartbreakingly human. The irony was that the very techniques designed to protect Mayweather's hidden communications ultimately became the instrument of his exposure, a reality that even he could not escape. The once vaunted figure of an unstoppable champion now found himself ensnared in a web of his own making, where every encrypted message and every undisclosed recording was a testament to the impermanent.
And you don't drive that. It's close to 15 minutes. You're right. It's close to 15 minutes.
New reports have raised doubts about Floyd Mayweather Jr. IPOs, claims of investing in a $402 million Manhattan apartment portfolio just over a month after Mayweather announced his biggest deal yet, acquiring 62 rental apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan. Business Insider reported that no such deal appears to have occurred. Floyd recently posted a video on Instagram claiming he bought 6 apartment buildings, stating that they are all his property.
Of all things built on deception. Adding another layer of intrigue, the investigation revealed that some of the techniques and strategies employed in Mayweather's digital defenses were far more advanced than what had been publicly acknowledged. The involvement of seasoned professionals, whose expertise bordered on what would typically be reserved for top government agencies, prompted stern warnings from cybersecurity experts across the nation. These specialists argued that the sophistication of these operations could have far-reaching implications not only for the realm of celebrity, but for the national security landscape as well. Through in-depth analysis and painstaking reconstruction of digital logs, investigators began piecing together a narrative that increasingly pointed to a deliberate and systematic effort to manipulate both public opinion and legal outcomes. In a series of dramatic interviews and public statements, Mayweather's own words echoed through the corridors of public debate. "I was always ahead of the curve," he once remarked, his tone tinged with both pride and resignation. Such sentiments captured the essence of a man who had spent his life chasing not just wealth, but a place in the annals of history. However, it soon became apparent that his ambition had inadvertently sown the seeds of his own undoing. Every flashy public appearance, every carefully curated image, was now being scrutinized under the unforgiving lens of digital evidence and legal inquiry. The narrative of a legendary boxer had transformed into a cautionary tale, a story of ambition betrayed by its own excess, where the quest for greatness ultimately came at the highest possible cost. At the heart of this sprawling drama is the undeniable human element, the inner conflict, the moments of regret, and the stark realization that even the most storied lives are susceptible to tragedy. Interviews with close friends and confidants reveal that behind the bravado and the relentless pursuit of success was a man who, at the end of the day, understood the heavy burden of his decisions. The internal struggle between maintaining an unblemished public image and grappling with personal shortcomings became a recurring theme in the discussions that followed. As one longtime associate observed, he never wanted to be just a legend, he wanted to be immortal. But even legends have their limits. Such reflections underscore the deep emotional scars.
2 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me. Guess what? You can do the same. It's all about making power moves.
He would claim that he purchased 62 buildings worth $400 million. He would say the buildings is so plentiful and so many that he can't include all of them in the Instagram carousel. So, you know, just slide to see a couple of the buildings.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And I'm pointing like this because all of them, we're in New York City right now. We're in Manhattan. That's what we do. Come on.
That have been inflicted by a world that often values spectacle over substance. The reverberations of Mayweather's actions have sparked a broader debate about the very nature of accountability in our society. Legal analysts argue that the case could set important precedents for how future high-profile financial and technological crimes are investigated and prosecuted. The meticulous efforts to trace every digital footprint, every hidden communication, and every undisclosed financial transaction have raised tough questions about the limits of privacy in an era where information is power. When a secret so profound, so meticulously hidden, is finally exposed, it forces all of us to confront the reality that nothing can remain concealed forever. The revelations, while shocking in their own right, have also served as a catalyst for a renewed public dialogue about the ethical responsibilities of those in positions of power. In recent days, as the courtroom drama continues to unfold, a quiet yet pervasive undercurrent of resilience has emerged among Mayweather's supporters. Even in the face of overwhelming legal and financial adversity, many remain steadfast in their belief that this is but a temporary setback, a hurdle to be overcome by a man whose true legacy is far from defined solely by his misdeeds. Social media platforms buzz with fervent discussions, with fans and followers sharing personal anecdotes of admiration and recounting times when Mayweather's sheer determination had inspired them to pursue their own dreams, regardless of the odds. In his own reflective moments, captured in unreleased recordings and private conversations, Mayweather expressed gratitude for the unwavering support he had received over the years, remarking, "In the midst of darkness, the light of those who believe in me is what keeps me fighting." Such declarations have only fueled the fervor of his loyal followers, transforming his legal battles into a rallying cry for a movement that spans the globe. As the legal processes drag on and new revelations continue to emerge, the public is left to ponder the delicate balance between justice and retribution. Every development in the case is met with a blend of disbelief, anticipation, and a cautious optimism that one day the truth will prevail. The very fabric of the judicial system is being tested as authorities grapple with how to reconcile the astonishing
crawl under his rock, then call out Canelo once again at 160, okay, 100 pounds, 160 pounds, call out Canelo and do the rematch, and that's it.
You think he's talking this trash because he wants a rematch? You think he actually wants
Absolutely.
You think he wants a rematch?
Look, another reason why he's crawled out of his rock, he needs money.
You think he needs money?
Absolutely.
He's always flossy.
It's absolutely, he needs money.
You think he's going
Once
broke?
Again, come on. Fighters like that always go broke.
He's always spending, so I guess.
Absolutely. Look, he's not fighting anymore, so that big money's not coming in. Look at what happened to Mike Tyson. He made what, $500 million?
Right.
You think you can spend $500 million overnight? Absolutely.
You can.
I doubt he'll ever step into that ring. Floyd's a big freaking.
He called Canelo the easiest win of his career.
Yeah, because he was 21 years old.
Right.
Of course. If I fought Ryan Garcia, who's 19 years old, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna beat him.
Complexity of modern technology with a legal framework that was designed for a far simpler age. In the midst of this evolving crisis, one thing remains abundantly clear. The journey toward justice is as unpredictable as the man at its center. The case of Floyd Mayweather has become a prism through which we can examine the tangled relationship between power, reputation, and the relentless march of progress in the digital era. The stakes of this trial extend far beyond the confines of a single courtroom. With each new piece of evidence that emerges, the case challenges long-held assumptions about the invincibility of fame and the limits of personal reinvention. Politicians, business leaders, and cultural commentators have all weighed in on the implications of the scandal, arguing that it is high time for systemic reforms. Legislative proposals aimed at tightening regulations around digital privacy and financial transparency have already begun to circulate, fueled by the public outcry over the degree of obfuscation that allowed such a vast network of deceit to flourish undetected. The reverberations of these legislative debates hint at a future where every citizen, regardless of celebrity status, will be held to a level of accountability that leaves no room for hidden agendas or unchecked ambition. In this maelstrom of legal intrigue, digital sleuthing, and raw human emotion, the legacy of Floyd Mayweather is being rewritten before our eyes. The narrative that once celebrated his indomitable spirit now demands a deeper reflection on the consequences of a life lived without boundaries. Every twist and turn in the courtroom is a testament not only to the complexities of modern law, but also to the enduring power of truth, a force that even the most sophisticated deceptions cannot ultimately withstand. Amidst the cacophony of court reporters, digital analysts, and impassioned onlookers, one message rings loud and clear. No one is above accountability, and every hidden truth will eventually come to light. Behind closed doors, and beyond the glare of public opinion, the intricacies of Mayweather's digital fortress are still being unraveled. Experts continue to debate the possible implications of his sophisticated cyber techniques, and each new discovery hints at a realm of untapped secrets and undisclosed partnerships. The narrative has taken
throw you to the wayside. Yeah, I mean, it just once you get around someone, you be looking up to these people so bad, and like once you get around, they don't be who they say they is or who they portray to be. You be like, damn, it's damn near like it's a letdown. So you be more so hurt off, you know. So it's like I just go my own way, like I do my own thing and things like that. So that's more so that's what it was, and that's cool. It's just like you just don't vibe with like what they on, and that's, you know. I mean, I've been in a situation where though, like, you know, I was in a lose-lose situation. Now, what came out still on top?
With Floyd? You said, what was the lose-lose situation? What you mean?
Just a little situation that he put me in to, you know, make me lose. But he thought I was gonna lose. But
You talking about like
On an almost mythic quality, a blend of modern technology and timeless human folly, where the race against both time and truth becomes a matter of survival. The intense scrutiny from every angle, combined with an ever-growing body of evidence, leaves little doubt that this case is set to become a watershed moment in how digital evidence is used in high-profile legal battles. Every emotionally charged comment, every reflective admission from Mayweather himself, adds another piece to the sprawling mosaic of his tumultuous journey. With passion, regret, and an unyielding determination to reclaim his narrative, his voice echoes through the tumult of modern media. "This is my story," he proclaimed in a rare unscripted moment, his tone resonating with equal parts defiance and sorrow. The weight of his past mistakes, coupled with the stark realities of his legal battles, has now been laid bare for the world to witness. Each comment, each whispered confession, serves as a reminder that behind the masked allure of a celebrity lifestyle lies a human struggle that touches us all. Even as news cycles continue to spin out fresh details and fresh waves of analysis, what remains most compelling is the unvarnished, often raw journey of a man who dared to challenge the very notion of invincibility. The confluence of digital intrigue, legal drama, and personal downfall has created a narrative that is as much a reflection of our times as it is a story of individual fate. In an era where every action is recorded and every secret is a potential headline, the saga of Floyd Mayweather stands as a powerful reminder that the truth cannot remain hidden forever. The scandals, the confessions, the encrypted messages, and the court battles have all converged into a stunning narrative that redefines the way we see both fame and accountability. As the trial moves forward, the collective consciousness of an entire generation is watching, debating, and learning from every moment of this extraordinary case. Social media, television broadcasts, and even casual conversations in coffee shops are all abuzz with speculation over the real meaning behind the myriad twists in this story. The powerful symbolism of a fallen champion, a symbol once associated with unstoppable energy and unyielding spirit, now serves as a potent symbol for the vulnerabilities that lie beneath even the most revered facades. Yet amid all the turmoil, there remains an undeniable sense of hope. Hope that from the depths of chaos, a new era of transparency, accountability, and true justice will eventually emerge. One that honors the sacrifices of truth over the fleeting allure of fabricated splendor. In the final analysis, the story of Floyd Mayweather is not merely one of legal battles and cyber intrigue. It is a chronicle of human ambition and the undeniable cost of greatness. The very elements that once made him a celebrated icon have now become the threads in a cautionary tapestry. A tapestry woven with the complexities of human desire, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of redemption. As courtrooms continue to echo with the sounds of determined voices and defiant declarations, the journey of transformation remains far from over. The digital footprints, now carefully laid bare, have cast long shadows over the glittering world of fame, challenging all who dare to dream of invincibility while ignoring the price of accountability. This tumultuous period in history, chronicled in encrypted files, whispered confessions, and impassioned courtroom exchanges, is not just the downfall of a man, but a rallying cry for change in a world where the blurred lines between public triumph and personal tragedy have reached epic proportions. Every hard-earned lesson from this debacle carries the promise of a future where brilliance does not go unchecked, and where the secrets that once fueled explosive ambitions now serve as a catalyst for a more honest, transparent society. The legal battles may rage on, and the digital mysteries may yet reveal further surprises. but one thing remains unequivocally clear. The impact of these revelations will be felt for generations to come. In the wake of such an astonishing cascade of events, it is impossible not to reflect on the deeper meanings behind this scandal. The convergence of cyber warfare, high-stakes finances, and the raw human experience represents not only a turning point in one man's life, but a moment of reckoning for a society enthralled by the allure of celebrity. The fall of a giant is never just a personal tragedy. It is a mirror held up to a world that has long celebrated the myth of invulnerability, and in the echo of every verdict and every revelation, there lies a promise that no secret, no matter
deceiving and fooling niggas, that he thought he could fool the actual business insiders because a deal like this shakes up the business world. A deal like this gets talked about, people know about it beforehand. It's something that really shakes up the market. So for this to happen and for nobody to know about it was very strange. And, you know, it came across the radar of the experts and they did their digging and they found out that Floyd Mayweather is full of ish. Business Insider launched an investigation and Floyd Mayweather claims that all the buildings belong to him and he don't have any partners and he just purchased 62 rental units in Manhattan. At the end of their investigation, they would come to a conclusion that Floyd Mayweather claims do not appear to match reality. All right, they would say a month after Mayweather's announcement, none of the buildings have changed hands. So the owners of the building can be seen. Like these,
no matter how deeply buried, will remain concealed forever. Through the cacophony of courtroom dramas and digital sleuthing, as voices clamor to be heard and stories intertwine, the story of Floyd Mayweather takes on a timeless quality. It is a tale woven into the fabric of modern culture, a saga that has captured the imagination of millions across the globe. The reams of evidence that have emerged paint a portrait not only of a fallen champion, but also of a society grappling with the implications of living in an era defined by the relentless pace of technological progress. In the final moments of each day's proceedings, as headlines blare and social media thrums with activity, the essence of what it means to be human, ambitious, flawed, and unyieldingly hopeful, shines through. As this extraordinary case draws on, the lessons learned are as varied as they are profound. The meticulous analysis of encrypted communications and the painstaking decryption of hidden files have uncovered truths that were intended to be forever locked away in the shadows. Yet, like all secrets destined for the light, they have emerged to challenge preconceived narratives, demanding a reevaluation of what is real and what is merely performance. In every remark, every court filing, and every piece of digital evidence, there is a reminder that the price of greatness, when paid in full, can be as heavy as it is inevitable. In closing, as the wheels of justice continue to turn, and the saga of Floyd Mayweather reaches new heights of complexity and emotion, the call for transparency, accountability, and truth becomes ever more urgent. The digital age has ushered in an era where the interplay of technology and human ambition reveals both the best and worst of our nature. And as we bear witness to these historic proceedings, we are reminded that every life, no matter how gilded, is subject to the inexorable laws of both fate and justice. Thank you for joining this deep dive into one of the most sensational and captivating dramas of our time. If you found this story as riveting as we did, be sure to hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel for more explosive news, behind-the-scenes insights, and continuous updates on this epic legal saga. Stay tuned and remember, every story has two sides, but the truth always finds a way to emerge.